Hey guys, Ron Goebbels here from KAM Wire for Practical Machinist. On this episode, Learn to Burn, I'm going to give you a little tour of our wire department, show you some of the stuff we use, some of the stuff we stock, and fixtures and whatnot, just give you a short tour. We started off with one wire EDM in 1999, and now we're up to 6. So our biggest machine right now is cutting out some die steels, really long punches. They're almost 20 inches long. So we put Velcro around here and then just stick it to it. Up here we've got the fixtures. Different kinds of fixtures for different things. All right, so here we are back at the wire department. We started off with one wire EDM in 1999, and now we're up to 6 right now, various sizes. And then, yeah, I'll just show it to you with a couple different brands, and then I'll show you what else we got in the department here. So our biggest machine right now, it's cutting out some die steels, really long punches that have some shear shape on it. So this is pretty good. They're almost 20 inches long. We're using high-speed wire in this machine right now. Actually, most of our machines we're using high-speed wire. There's 2, I think, running brass today. Here's some of the finished stuff we're doing. This is a punch, another punch here, and then some more form blocks. It's our selection of vises that we're using. All different sizes. We like these. We clamp it right to the table. Got the slots here. Put the M8 bolts through, clamps it right down to the table. We haven't invested yet into the leveling vices. That's coming down the line. I know they have some really neat stuff. I was looking at the show in the fall, so that's something we'll get into later. Here's a fixture. It's kind of interesting. We took an old angle plate that we weren't using. The way we had to cut these parts, we needed to mount them here. So we used the dowels, mounted them this way. We had to cut some out of the front face. So now we keep this fixture here all the time for the repeat parts. This is one of our smaller machines here. It is cutting a new die steel as well. We're running brass wire on this one. And this one's sitting empty for the night. This is, as you can see, this is how we leave it. It's cleaned up. The night shift guy, he's just on break, but he's going to finish drying it out and stuff, and it'll be ready to go in the morning. This machine here, that's running brass as well. We're doing second ops on punches, and I'll show you the punch in a minute. Instead of 3D machining it in, we'll actually prefer to, when we can, do it in the wire cutting. It takes a little bit longer, but it runs unattended, and then you get some real good accuracy. You don't have to worry about deflection of the cutter. So first op on this punch, we cut all the way around here. Second op, we just cut this area off here. This is going to be a trim punch. We also make some forming punches for the same shape that has radiuses on the top, and we'll do exactly the same operation here, and then it ends up going over to get 3D machined after it's wire cut. Here's some of our indicator setups just for indicating, and then we got our bolt racks here. Some of the stuff we've had for years. Some more bolt racks over there. We try to keep our department as clean as possible. Like I said, the night shift guy will clean it up before he goes home after his shift. So day shift has a good start, and then day shift make sure they keep it as clean as they can as well. Let's see, this machine here, It looks like it's finished, it's cut. So after break, it'll get switched over to another one. So I don't know what everybody else does. We get a lot of orders, repeat orders for parts. So what we like doing is sometimes we'll create mags and we'll stock these mags. So as you can see here, this one in here, we cut these little circles out here, these mandrel punches we call them. They're just straight through, nothing crazy. I think it's D2 material. What happens is we get those brazed onto some shafts and then we grind them afterwards. But we keep a mag like that in stock because we cut at least 3 or 4 a month. And you can see these punches, these blocks here. This is for a customer that they order the same size of these shaped punches all the time. So we decided to keep a mag in stock all the time. It saves processing. We get to do, you're processing one block. Let's see, we can cut 1, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4. We can cut 30 pieces out of that block. So now we got one heat treat charge, one handling through the system, and then we just set it up and wire cut it as we need to. And that's what most of all these blocks on this shelf are here. Now down on the bottom shelf here, we keep a lot of blank mag blocks or extra cutoffs and stuff like that. Quite often we'll get customers that'll call us, they need something rush. So we'll grab a block, measure it up. Maybe we can wire cut some stuff out of it that can be used. So just like this block down here, we know it's hard D2. You're able to cut that punch out for them. Up here we've got fixtures. Different kinds of fixtures for different things. This set of fixtures here, we make these round blanks. They have shapes in them. We have to cut slots in them that are very high precise location wise. So we actually use these fixtures for both on the CNC and in the wire machines, so we can process 4 at a time on both the CNC and the wires. All sorts of different fixtures up here for different things. This was a fixture we used last year. I think I had another video where we cut some pretty precise, very thin slivers that we use that fixture for. We'll keep these fixtures for a number of years. You never know, either you can use it for something else, or at the end we throw it out after a couple of years. This fixture here, we actually make this punch shape. Then we hold the punch in here, we hold it in with a set screw, and then we set it up on the wire machine, and then we can wire cut the shear on it because the customer is very specific on the shear that we needed to put on. The other thing we like doing is talk about more mags again. What we do here is quite often a customer, they order buttons. They have specific shape to them. For us to process this one piece of steel, I think it's exotic steel, W360, handles heat a lot. These go on a hot stamp press. So for us to process one block for just 2 buttons or 3 buttons or 4 or whatever they order, it's not worth it. So what we do is we'll make a mag of 8, 10, and then we'll keep these in stock. So we've had these in stock for over a year, but every time they order one, we get to just wire cut it. It improves our delivery time. It wasn't much more to make 10 of them versus 2 of them because of all the minimum costs and processing costs up front. Sure, we use some extra machine time, a couple hours of extra machine time, but later on we save it down the road. So we do that for quite a few pieces. We have a whole box full of all different shapes. You can see the shape in this one, and we keep those in stock. And then we regularly, some of them order, you know, 1 a year or so, but we can turn it out pretty fast. And we know these dies run for a minimum of 4 years. Sometimes, well, this program here just got extended for another 5 years. So over here, what we've started doing too in our shop is putting filters over top of the grates here. So that's the air intakes for all the wire machines. So we put Velcro around here and then just stick it to it. There's the roll that we do. That helps keep the inside of the cabinets clean. These are blowing air out, so you don't need it here, but we want the air intakes to keep it clean. That's because of our shop isn't, we don't have a wire room that's separated from everything else. Down here, you're going to see a whole bunch of what we call diving boards and stuff like that. What that does is we can set blocks up and set them on it. They're all different sizes. There we go. Now you can see it. They're all different sizes, so you can set blocks on them, or when you have to go over the table, we've got some sign blocks, some more angle plates down at the bottom here, a bunch of clamps. And then the precious scrap wire afterwards was in the bin. We also separate our steel, our tool steel, from our like hot roll and stuff like that, so you get more value in the scrap. Hey, I hope you like that short tour of our the wire area of our shop. I know it's not some of the spectacular, super clean and closed environments that some of you have. It works for us right now, so hope you enjoyed that. Leave your comments below, and as always, hit like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And remember, keep those spools turning and those wires burning. See you next time.